المتميزين. Our lecture today we will continue solving the exercises of 1, 2. And now we will solve the question 2. Find the quadratic equation. Find the quadratic equation, which its two roots are m and l, where section A, m equal 1 plus 2i and l equal 1 minus i. مطلوب السؤال find the quadratic equation، جد المعادلة التربيعية which its two roots التي جذراها هما m and l، where مطيني قيمة m ومطيني قيمة l. نلاحظ انه قيمة m complex number and قيمة l also is complex number. Can we find the quadratic equation if we know its two roots؟ هل نستطيع إيجاد المعادلة التربيعية التي علم جذراها؟ Yes, we can. So we can write its law. The quadratic equation will be x squared minus sum of the two roots x plus roots product equal 0. هذه عندنا قانون أو قاعدة لإيجاد المعادلة التربيعية التي علم جذراها. قاعدتها العامة x تربيع ناقص the sum of the two roots مجموع الجذرين معامل ل x زائد حاصل ضرب الجذرين يساوي 0. And now we can find the sum of the two roots and we can find the roots product because we know the two roots. First, we want to find the sum of the two roots m plus l equal 1 plus 2i plus the second root l is 1 minus I. And now we can simplify. So if we delete the brackets, is there any problem؟ إذا شلت الأقواس مسحت الأقواس أكو أي مشكلة؟ ماكو مشكلة. ليش؟ لأن عندي زائد. الزائد ما راح يأثر على الحدود اللي داخل القوس اللي بعده، ما راح تأثر على الحدود، راح تبقى نفس إشارته. ليش؟ لأن عندي جمع. And now we can simplify. We will add the same terms. We will add the real part with the real part and the imaginary part with the imaginary part. So 1 plus 1 equal 2. Positive 2i minus I, the sign of the greater value, and we will subtract 2 minus 1, 1i. This is the sum of the two roots. And second, we want to find the product of the two roots, which is equal m multiplied l, and it's equal m is 1 plus 2i multiplied l equal 1 minus I. Here we have multiplying of two complex numbers and we can find the result. We can use the property of distribution, so we will multiply 1 with the two terms in the second brackets. So it will be 1 multiplied 1, 1. 1 multiplied negative I, negative I. And now we will take the second term and we will multiply it with the two terms of the second brackets. So 2i multiplied 1, positive 2i multiplied positive 1 equal positive 2i. Positive 2i multiplied negative I, positive multiply negative, negative. 2i multiplied I, 2i squared. We deal with, when we see I squared, we can replace it by negative 1 and it will be plus 2. And now we can simplify. So 1 plus 2 equal 3. I will write it here. 1 plus 2 equal 3. Negative I plus 2i, the sign of the greater value, and we will subtract 2 minus 1 equal 1i. And this is the result of multiplying the two roots. And here is the result of adding the two roots. And now we can substitute these in the quadratic equation. So the quadratic equation will be x squared minus the sum of the two roots is 2 plus I, 2 plus I x plus the product of the two roots is 3 plus I equal 0. And this is the quadratic equation which is required in the question. And now we can solve section B. Section B, the two roots m and l are m equal 3 minus I on 1 plus I, which is a fraction value. L equal 3 minus 2I. I think it is squared. And now we can also write the law of the quadratic equation, which its two roots are known. The quadratic equation will be x squared minus the sum of two roots x plus the roots product equal 0. So now we will find the sum of the two roots, and we will also find the product of the two roots. First, we can simplify the two roots. We can simplify the value of m and simplify the value of l. So first we will write m, we will find the value of m in simplest form. So m equal 3 minus I on 1 plus I. هنا أنا قبل ما أبدي أبحث عن حاصل جمعهم أو حاصل ضرب الجذرين، ألاحظ أنه قيمة الجذر الأول هي يعني ليست بأبسط صورة، بصورة كسرية. أقدر أبسطها لحد ما أحصل على عدد مركب بالصيغة العادية، يعني بشكل مبسط. Also, the second root L equal 3 minus 2I between two brackets squared. I can simplify it to find its value as a complex number in the regular form. Okay, so m equal 3 minus I on 1 plus I. Can we find I in the denominator? هل من الممكن أن تكون I موجودة بالمقام؟ No. We want to simplify this complex number. So we will multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. So the conjugate of the denominator is 1 minus I. 1 minus I. And now we will simplify. So here we have a complex number multiplied its conjugate. So the product of these two complex numbers will be a squared plus b squared. A squared means 1 plus b squared is also 1 because the coefficient of I is 1. That means b, the imaginary part, equal 1. And in the numerator we have multiplying of two complex number. We will use the property of distribution. 3 multiplied 1, 3. 3 multiplied negative I, negative 3I. Now we will take the second term. negative I multiplied 1, negative I. Negative I multiplied negative I, negative multiplied negative, positive. I multiplied I squared. We deal with, when we see I squared, we will replace it by negative 1. So here it will be minus 1. And we can simplify it. It's equal, in the denominator, 1 plus 1 equal 2. 3 minus 1, we take the real part with the real part and the imaginary part with the imaginary part. So 3 minus 1, 2. Negative 3i minus I, the signs are the same. So we put the same sign and we will add it, the coefficients. 3 plus 1, 4i. So we can simplify it. It's equal 2 on 2 minus 4 on 2i. We want to find it in the regular form for the complex number. أريد أبسط لحد ما أصل إلى الصيغة العادية للعدد المركب. The normal form of the complex number. 2 divided by 2 equal 1 minus 4 divided by 2 equal 2i. This represent the first root. This complex number represents the value of m. And now we want to find the value of L. L equal 3 minus 2i squared. So we know we can simplify it by using the rule of perfect square. And it's equal. The square of the first term, 9. The sign of the middle is negative. 2 times the first term times the second term. 2 times 3, 6. Times 2 equal 12i. And plus the second term squared. 2i squared equal 4i squared. We will replace I squared by negative 1 and it will be minus 4. So we can simplify it. 9 minus 4 equal 5 minus 12i. This value represents the value of the second root, L. And now we can find the sum of the two roots, and so we can find the product of the two roots. First, the sum of the two roots, m plus L, equal. M equal 1 minus 2i plus L equal 5 minus 12i. I didn't put brackets because here we have sum, we have adding. So it is a positive sign. It's not a negative sign, so I can write it without brackets. And now we will simplify by adding the real part with the real part and the imaginary part with the imaginary part. So 1 plus 5 equal 6. Negative 2i minus 12i, the signs are the same. We put the same sign and adding the coefficients. 2 plus 12 equal 14i. And this represents the sum of the two roots. And now we want to find the product of the two roots. M multiplied L equal. M equal 1 minus 2i multiplied L 5 minus 12i. This is the value of L. And we can use the distribution property. So 1 multiplied 5, 5. 1 multiplied 12i. 1 multiplied negative, it will be negative. 1 multiplied 12i, 12i. Negative 2i multiplied positive 5 equal negative 10i. Negative 2i multiplied negative 12i, negative multiplied negative positive. 2 multiplied 12, 24 I squared. And we will replace I squared by negative 1. And now we can simplify. 5 minus 24, the sign of the greater value, and we will subtract. 24 minus 5 equal 19. Negative 12i minus 10i, we will put the same sign and we will adding the values of the coefficient. 12 plus 10 equal 22i. This represents the product of the two roots. And now we can write the quadratic equation, which equals, so the quadratic equation is x squared minus the sum of the two roots, 6 minus 14i x, plus roots product equal negative 19 minus 22i, that's all equal 0. This is the quadratic equation which is required in the question. So we finished solving section B. And now we will solve question 3. Evaluate the square roots for the following complex numbers. جد قيمة الجذور التربيعية للأعداد المركبة التالية. Section A, we have the complex number negative 6i. Is this a complex number? Yes, it represents a complex number. So the real part equals 0. And now we want to find the square root for this complex number. We know that when we want to find the square root for any complex number, we will use 3 steps. These are, first, we will assume the square root for the complex number equal x plus yi. Second, we will square both sides. Third, we will get a system of 2 equations with 2 variables, and we solve the system to find the values of x and y. لإيجاد الجذر التربيعي للعدد المركب عندي خطوات ثابتة، 3 خطوات ثابتة. الخطوة الأولى الفرضية، الخطوة الثانية نربع الطرفين، الخطوة الثالثة راح نحصل على نظام من معادلتين بمتغيرين نحلهم حتى نجد من عندهم قيمة x و y. إذا هذه الخطوات الأساسية لإيجاد الجذر التربيعي لأي عدد مركب. So first, the first step, we will assume square root for the complex number which is given in the question equal x plus yi. And the second step, we will square both sides. تربيع الطرفين, we will get, when we square this side, we have a square root, so when we square it, it will be negative 6i equal the square root of the second side will be x plus yi squared. So negative 6i equal. Here we have perfect square, so it's squared. We know that it's equal x squared minus y squared plus 2xy. So here we have equals of 2 complex numbers. So that means the real part equal the real part. Where are the real part? Because it's not exist, that means its value equal 0, the real part. And the imaginary part equal the imaginary part. Negative 6 equal positive 2xy. So here we get two equations. First, the real part equal the real part x squared minus y squared equal 0. This is the first equation. The second equation, the imaginary part, which is 2xy equal the imaginary part, which is negative 6. And this is the second equation. So from 2 we can get the value of y denoted by x. من المعادلة الثانية أقدر أحصل على قيمة y لكن بدلالة x. So it will be negative 6 divided on 2x. And we can simplify it, so it's equal. Here we can simplify 6 on 2 equal 3, so that will be negative 3 on x. This is the value of y denoted by x. I will call it 3. And now I will substitute the value of y which I get from equation 2 in the equation 1. يعني من آخذ من معادلة لازم أعوضها بالمعادلة الأخرى، ما يصير أرجع أعوضها بنفس المعادلة. أنا أخذت من معادلة 2 طلعت قيمة y، أرجع أعوضها in equation 1. So we will substitute value of y in 1. راح أعوض قيمة y في المعادلة 1 which is x squared minus y squared. Y equal negative 3 on x. Negative 3 on x all squared equal 0. And now I will simplify. X squared minus negative 3 squared positive 9. X squared equals 0. I can get rid from this denominator by multiplying the two sides by x squared. حتى أتخلص من المقام، حتى أتخلص من الكسر راح أضرب طرفي المعادلة في المقام اللي هو x squared, and I will get x squared multiply x squared equal x power 4 minus 9 on x squared multiply x squared equal only 9 equal 0. Here we have equation. I can factor it by difference between two squares. So I will write two brackets x power 4 its square root equal x squared multiplied x squared. 9 comes from 3 multiplied 3. Here I put negative and here I put positive. That's mean either or. Either x squared minus 3 equals 0 because we use the zero product when two values, when two expressions, product of two expressions equals 0, that means one of them equals 0 or both of them equal 0. حسب الخاصية الصفرية، إذا كان عندي حاصل ضرب مقدارين يساوي صفر معناته أحدهما يساوي صفر أو كلاهما. So either x squared minus 3 equals 0, that means x squared equal 3. When we take square root for both sides, square root for both sides, we will get x equal positive negative square root for 3. This is the first values for x, or x squared plus 3 equals 0. That's mean x equal negative 3 and we x squared equal negative 3. So when we take the square root for both sides, that means we will get square root for a negative value, and this is an real number, but we know x and y are real numbers. X and y are real numbers. So that's mean we will neglect this value. Neglect this value for x because x belongs to R. x is a real number. And now, so we have two values for x. We will substitute the values of x in 3. In 3, because in equation 3 we have the value of y denoted by x. بالمعادلة 3 عندي أقدر أطلع هي قيمة y بدلالة الإكس. من وجدت الإكس معناته راح أقدر أجد قيمة y. So we will substitute in 3 and we will get y equal 3, which says y equal negative 3 on x. So when we substitute the values of x, first when x equal positive square root of 3, that's mean y equal negative 3 on positive square root of 3, and that's equal negative 3. 3 comes from square root of 3 multiply square root of 3. الثلاثة هي عبارة عن جذر 3 في جذر 3، مو تمام؟ يعني إذا أشيل 3 واكتب بدالها جذر 3 على جذر 3 مقسوم على جذر 3، واحد من عندهم راح أختصره، راح تبقى عندي جذر 3 وحدة بالبسط، لكن الإشارة هنا negative. So that's mean it will be equal negative square root of 3. Okay? That means the first root is when x equal positive square root of 3, y will be negative square root of 3. And the second root, when we take the second value of x, when x equal negative square root of 3, that's mean y will be negative 3 on x. Here x is negative square root of 3. That's mean the negative on negative equal positive, and the 3 divided on square root of 3 equal square root of 3. So the second root is when x negative square root of 3, y will be positive square root of 3i. So the two roots are, the first root are square root of 3 minus square root of 3i, and the second root is negative square root of 3 plus square root of 3i. These are the two roots. هنا أنا ما قايل لي بالسؤال find the set of solution، ولا قايل لي solve، ما قايل لي حل، ولا قايل لي جد مجموعة الحل. يعني ليس بالضرورة بالأخير أكتب إذا S تساوي إذا مجموعة الحل تساوي، لأن ما قايل لي بصيغة السؤال solve ولا قايل لي find the set of solution. قايل لي evaluate the square roots for جد قيمة الجذرين للأعداد المركبة التالية. جد قيمة الجذرين جذري الأعداد المركبة التالية. إذن I find the two squared roots for the complex number negative 6i. And now we will solve section B from question 3. We have the complex number 7 plus 24i. Also we will use the 3 steps. First, we will assume the square root of the complex number which is given equal x plus yi. The second step, we will square both sides. When we square both sides, here we get 7 plus 24i equal, we know the square root of this side equal x squared minus y squared plus 2xyi. هنا نبي نحن نعرف بعد هذه القاعدة، يعني نقدر نكتب بين قوسين تربيع ونفتح مربع الحدانية، لكن هذه صارت عندنا قاعدة كتبتها مباشرة حتى شوية اختصر بالمكان، لكن حتى إذا كتبتها مباشرة وزاريا تاخذ عليها درجة كاملة. And now, so we have equals of two complex numbers. This complex number equal this complex number. And the equals of, we have equals of two complex number. That means the real part equal the real part and the imaginary part equal the imaginary part. So we will get x squared minus y squared, the real part, equal positive 7. This is first equation. The second equation will be the imaginary part equal the imaginary part. The imaginary part 2xy equal 24. And this is equation 2. From 2 we can get the value of y denoted by x. So we will get y equal 24 divided on 2x. 24 divided on 2x. So we can simplify it and it will be y equal 24 divided on 2 equal 12 on x. Positive 12 on x. This is the value of y. We will call it 3. And now we will substitute the value of y, which we get from equation 2, in equation 1. Substitute the value of y in 1, in equation 1. So we will get x squared minus y squared, y equal 12 on x squared equal 7. And now we will simplify. So that's mean x squared minus 12 squared مع تربيع 144 on x squared equal 7. And now I want to get rid from this fraction. أريد أتخلص من هذا الكسر. شلون أتخلص من الكسر؟ By multiplying the two sides by the denominator, which equals x squared. بضرب طرفي المعادلة في المقام حتى أتخلص من الكسر. المقام هو x تربيع. That means I will multiply the two sides by x squared. And we will get x squared multiplied x squared equal x power 4 minus 144 on x squared multiplied x squared equal 144 equal 7 multiplied x squared 7x squared. And now I want to order this equation. أريد أرتب هذه المعادلة. I will write x power 4. When I move this value 7x squared to this side, it will be negative. 7x squared minus 144 equal 0. And here I see I have equation from 3 terms, so I can factor it by experiment. So I will write 2 brackets equal 0. X power 4, its square root is x squared multiplied x squared. And 144 comes from 16 multiplied 9. And I will write the sign of the middle term near the greater value. So here I put minus and here I put plus. So I can check my factoring. Negative 16x squared, and here when I multiply them I get positive 9x squared. And now when I added these two values I get negative 7x squared, which represent the middle term. So my factor to this equation is, to this expression is true. هنا أنا تأكدت من التحليل مالتي صحيح. دائما تأكدوا من التحليل حتى لأن حرامات تروح درجة على إن شاء الله التحليل بالتجربة. So either or x squared minus 16 equals 0. That's mean x squared equal 16. When I take square root for both sides, I will get x equal negative positive 4. ياخذ الجذر التربيعي للطرفين square root for both sides. I will get x equal positive negative 4, or the second bracket, or x squared plus 9 equals 0. That's mean x squared equal negative 9. I can't take the square root for this side because I will get unreal value for x. That's mean I will neglect this value. راح أهمل هذه القيمة لأن من آخذ الجذر التربيعي للطرفين راح أحصل إنه x تربيع تساوي سالب موجب الجذر التربيعي لسالب 9، يعني عدد سالب تحت الجذر هو عدد غير أو قيمة غير حقيقية لا ينتمي إلى r. But we know that's x because x, since x belongs to r. Since x belongs to r. عندي x تنتمي إلى r. إذا هذه القيمة تهمل. إذا فقط عندي we have this values for x. So first, when x, we will substitute in 3 to get the value of y. We will substitute the values of x in 3 to get the values of y. So we will substitute in 3. So we get first when x equal positive 4, that's mean y equal 12 divided on 4. 12 on 4 and it's equal positive 3. So that's mean the first root when x positive 4, y is positive 3. This is the first root. And second, when x equal negative 4, that's mean y equal 12 divided on negative 4. 12 on negative 4 and we will get negative 3 will be the value of y. So the second root is when x is negative 4, the value of the imaginary part is negative 3i. So the two roots of the complex number 7 plus 24i are. The two roots are the first root 4 plus 3i and the second root is negative 4 minus 3i. So I will say also, because in the question it didn't say find the set of solution or solve. بما انه بالسؤال ما قال لي جد مجموعة الحل ولا قال لي حل، معناته ما مطلوب من عندي اقول له اذا مجموعة الحل. لو قايل لي بالسؤال find the set of solution or solve معناته لازم بالاخير اقول له اذا s تساوي، اذا مجموعة الحل تساوي، نضع قوس المجموعة ونحط القيمة اللي تمثل لي مجموعة الحل. هنا أنا ما قايل لي find the set of solution ولا قايل لي solve، قايل لي evaluate the square roots، جد قيمة الجذرين للأعداد المركبة الثانية. إذا أنا انطيت الجذرين اللي هي مطلوبة بالسؤال. This is the two roots for the complex number 7 plus 24i. This is the solving for section B. And now we will solve section C from question 3. The complex number is 4 on 1 minus square root of 3i. Here we have a fraction. So I can simplify it to get a complex number in the normal form. So how can I simplify it? I will, because I see that we have I in the denominator, so we will multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. So the conjugate of this complex number is 1 plus square root of 3i. The same terms, but here we will change the sign of the imaginary part. So here also we have 1 plus square root of 3i and it's equal. بما انه هنا مطيني العدد المركب بصيغه كسريه، معناته دا لاحظ انه عندي اي بالمقام، لازم ابسطه. اول شيء اتخلص من الاي بالمقام واحوله الى الصيغه العاديه للعدد المركب حتى اقدر اجد له الجذر التربيعي. So here we will get in the denominator we have a complex number multiplied its conjugate. So the products of these two expressions equal a squared plus b squared. حاصل ضرب اي عدد مركب في المرافق مالته راح ينطيني a تربيع زائدا b تربيع. اقصد بالاي تربيع الجزء الحقيقي تربيع زائد b تربيع اقصد بالجزء التخيلي تربيع. square root of 3 squared equal 3. And in the numerator we have multiplying 4 multiplied 1 equal 4. 4 multiplied positive square root of 3 equal 4 square root of 3i. And now I can simplify, so it's equal. In the denominator we will get, and it's equal, in the denominator 1 plus 3 equal 4. Here we have 4 plus 4 square root of 3i, and I can simplify. So I will write 4 on 4, this is the real part, plus 4 square root of 3 on 4i. جزأت الكسر حتى أعزل الجزء الحقيقي عن الجزء التخيلي. And it's equal 4 divided on 4 equal 1 plus 4 we can simplify. 4 divided on 4 equal 1. It's remained only square root of 3i. Square root of 3i. So I write the complex number. And now I want to find the square root for this complex number. This is the complex number in the normal form. So I can find the square root for it by 3 steps. First, I will assume the square root of 1 plus square root of 3i equal x plus yi. Square both sides. When I square both sides, this side will be 1 plus square root of 3i equal. When I squared this side, I will get x squared minus y squared plus 2xyi. هذه صارت عندي قاعدة. رأسا أعرف أنه x زائدا y تربيع يساوي x تربيع ناقصا y تربيع زائد 2xyi. And now I can write two equations because I have complex number equal complex number. So the real part equal the real part and the imaginary part equal the imaginary part. So I get two equations. X squared minus y squared equal the real part is 1. This is the first equation. The second equation, the imaginary part 2xy equal the imaginary part square root of 3. This is equation 2. I want to find the value of y denoted by x from 2. Y equal square root of 3 divided on 2x. Square root of 3 divided on 2x. So this is the value of y. I will call it equation 3. I will substitute the value of y in 1, in equation 1. Substitute in 1. So I will get x squared minus y squared, that means the value of y, square root of 3 on 2x all is squared equal 1. I will simplify, so I will get x squared minus square root of 3 squared equal 3. Square 2 squared equal 4. X squared equal x squared equal 1. I want to simplify this equation, so I have here a fraction. How can I get rid from this fraction? I will multiply both sides by the denominator. شلون اتخلص من الكسر بهذه المعادلة؟ بضرب طرفي المعادلة في المقام اللي هو 4x squared. So I will get, and it's equal, x squared multiplied 4x squared will be 4x power 4 minus 3 on 4x squared multiplied 4x squared, it will be only 3 equal 1 multiplied 4x squared will be 4x squared. And now I can write this equation as 4x power 4. When I move this value to this side, it will be minus 4x squared minus 3 equal 0. And now I want to factor this equation to get the values of x. I will write it here to complete the solving. 4x power 4 minus 4x squared minus 3 equal 0. I can factor by experiment because I have the 3 terms. راح نحلل بالتجربة لأنه عندي 3 حدود. So I will write 2 brackets. So 4x power 4 comes from 2x squared multiplied 2x squared. 3 comes from 3 multiplied 1. And I will get 2x squared, and here I will get 2 multiplied 3, 6x squared. So I will put the sign negative here and positive here. So I will get positive 2x squared, and here I get negative 6x squared. When I added them, I will get negative 4x squared. لازم اتاكد من التحليل مالتي بالتجربه، لان هنا لاحظوا انه الاكس للقوه 4 بيها معامل، يعني شويه راح تكون عندي شويه اصعب، مو مباشره اقدر اعرفها، لازم اجرب اتاكد من التحليل مالتي. لذلك لما ضربت الوسطين وضربت الطرفين بالبدايه ما خليت اشارات لحد ما اتاكد وين احتاج الاشاره. انتبهت انه احتاج الاشاره السالبه يم العدد الاكبر اللي هو 6 حتى يطلع لي الحد الاوسط سالب، وبعدين لما ضفت او جمعت هذول الحدين طلع عندي الميدل تيرم الحد الاوسط. So my factoring is correct. اذا تحليلي صحيح. هسه اكمل الحل. So here I have the product of two expressions equals 0. That means the first expression equals 0 or the second expression equals 0 or both of them equals 0 حسب الخاصية الصفرية. إذا عندي حاصل ضرب مقدارين يساوي 0 لازم أحدهما يساوي 0 أو كلاهما. So either or. Either 2x squared plus 1 equal 0, so that's mean 2x squared equal negative 4, and that's mean x squared equal negative half. So here when I take the square root for both sides, I will get unreal value for x, and that's mean I will neglect this value because since x belongs to r, x are a real number. Or I take the second brackets, 2x squared minus 3 equals 0. That's mean 2x squared equal positive 3. And that's mean x squared equal, I will divide both sides by 2. راح أقسم الطرفين على 2 حتى أحصل على قيم x. x squared equal 3 on 2. Okay, and now I will take the square root for both sides. Square root for both sides, I will get x equal positive negative square root of 3 on square root of 2. By taking the square root for both sides. This is the values, the two values for x. And now I will substitute these values for x in 3 to get the values of y. راح أعوض القيمتين اللي حصلت عليهم للx بالمعادلة 3. So it will be y equal, substitute, خلي أكتبها, substitute in 3. لازم نحدد الخطوات مالتنا حتى نثبتها للمصحح حتى يعرف احنا ايش نسوي. لما راح اعوض عن قيمة x في المعادلة 3 y equal square root. اوكي هنا أنا راح ناخذ عندي قيمتين للx حتى ما يصير عندكم اخطاء. خلينا ناخذ قيمة first when x equal positive square root of 3 on square root of 2. That's mean y equal square root of 3 on square root of 3 on 2 multiplied square root of 3 on square root of 2. راح اخلي الاثنين مو راح تنضرب ويا هذا الكسر، راح اخليها بالبسط حتى يصير عندي مباشرة كسر. بس ضربت الاثنين في قيمة x. قيمة x جذر 3 على جذر 2 ضربتها في 2 صار 2 من جذر 3 على 2. راح نقلب القسمة إلى ضرب square root of 3 multiplied مقلوب المقام اللي هو square root of 2 on 2 square root of 3 and that's equal ويساوي جذر 3. راح اختصرها ويا جذر 3. شنو بقى عندي؟ جذر 2 على 2. شنو معناتها؟ جذر 2 على 2. احنا قلنا الاثنين معناته جذر 2 في جذر 2 مو تمام؟ اذا راح اختصر وحده من عندهم وياها. ايش راح يبقى عندي؟ 1 على جذر 2 عند السكون. هنا راح اكتبها الاثنين هذه اللي بالمقام مو اقدر اكتبها عبارة عن جذر 2 في جذر 2. واحد من عندهم اختصره ويا البسط. ايش راح يبقى عندي؟ بقى عندي فقط 1 على جذر 2. This is the first value for y. When x يعني لمن كانت الاكس اذا الجذر الاول لمن الاكس تساوي the first root x positive square root of 3 on square root of 2 قيمة الواي positive plus 1 on square root of 2i. This is the first root. Second when x equal نفس المقدار لكن أنا راح يكون عندي negative square root of 3 on square root of 2. That's mean y equal square root of 3 on 2 multiply the value of x يعني square root of 3 on negative 2 square root of 3 on square root of 2. فقط هنا راح تكون القيمة السالبة. And also it will be راح نحول القسمة إلى ضرب and it's equal and it's ينتج y تساوي لأنه معادلة لازم بها فقط طرفين ينتج. اوكي so we get y equal square root of 3 راح اقلب القسمة إلى ضرب. هنا أنا راح أقلبه جذر 2 على 2 square root of 3 بس ما أنسى عندي إشارة سالبة أخليها بالوسط أخليها بالمقام أخليها بالوسط معناته إنه هذا كسر سالب. And now I can simplify. So square root of 3 divided on square root of 3 equal 1 and it remains, so y equal بقى عندي أول شيء إشارة سالبة square root of 2 on 2 قلنا ال 2 هي عبارة عن square root of 2 مضروب في square root of 2 I will simplify one of them and it's remained 1 on square root of 2 عرفنا شلون إنه جذر 2 على 2 معناته 1 على جذر 2 so this is the second value for y when x, so the second root when x negative square root of 3 on square root of 2, the value of y will be also negative, so it will be minus 1 on square root of 2i. This is the second root for the complex number. So there's two roots. أنا كتبتهم هنا لكن حتى نرتب الحل، أنا كتبتهم حتى لكم يكون واضح، أنتوا تقدرون هنا ما تكتبوهن فقط بالنهاية تكتبون إذا الجذرين تحددون الأول من القيمتين الأولى من قيمة إكس الأولى وتطلع قيمة واي المقابلة لها، والجذر الثاني قيمة إكس الثانية والواي المقابلة لها. لكن أنا كتبتها هنا مرتين على مود أوضح لكم إنه القيمة الأولى لإكس شلون الموجب معناته تقابلها واي بالموجب، وقيمة إكس السالبة تقابلها قيمة واي السالبة. So the two roots are أقدر أحددهم. الجذر الأول this is square root of 3 on square root of 2 plus 1 on square root of 2i, and the second root the same values but it's negative, so negative square root of 3 on square root of 2 square root of 3 on square root of 2 minus 1 on square root of 2i. This is the second root. So we get two roots for the square root of the complex number which is given in the question. So we finished our lecture for today. See you in another lecture.